Analysis of the obedient movement response to Felix Morka's comments. The recent response from the obedient movement to Felix Morka's comments on January 5, 2025 represents a sharp condemnation of what they describe as a direct threat to Peter Obi, the Labour Party's presidential candidate in Nigeria's 2023 elections, and an alarming development in Nigeria's political climate. The movement, which gained prominence during Obi's 2023 campaign, is asserting its discontent with what it perceives as an escalating pattern of political repression under the All Progressive Congress (APC) government. This response touches on the broader themes of freedom of speech, democratic discourse, and the increasing authoritarian tendencies within the Nigerian state. Felix Morka, the APC National Publicity Secretary, made the controversial remarks on Arise TV in which he stated that Peter Obi has crossed the line in so many times and warned that Obi has what's coming to him, suggesting that Obi should manage whatever consequences that follow. This statement was seen by the obedient movement as a direct threat not just to Obi's safety but to the broader democratic landscape in Nigeria. The APC, as the ruling party, is responsible for maintaining peace and ensuring that political discourse remains civil and constructive, making Morka's statements especially alarming coming from a government official. The obedient movement's condemnation of Morka's statement is primarily focused on the accusation that it represents an authoritarian shift within the government. The movement argues that such remarks are not just personal attacks on Obi, but reflect a dangerous precedent where dissenting voices are met with threats rather than engagement or debate. The obedient view these remarks as part of a broader trend where individuals who challenge the government are silenced through intimidation. This concern is grounded in Nigeria's democratic principles, particularly the freedom of expression guaranteed by the Nigerian Constitution. The movement is voicing concern that the government, rather than upholding these constitutional rights, is using threats of violence to stifle political opposition. In their view, Morka's comment is emblematic of the APC's broader strategy to discredit and undermine opposition figures like Obi and the Labour Party, which posed a significant challenge to the APC's electoral dominance. Like Peter Obi, the obedient movement demands clarification on what specific line Peter Obi has crossed and who has the authority to draw such a line. The rhetorical questions posed by the movement are designed to challenge the legitimacy of Morka's threat, urging that if there is no clear legal or moral justification for such a statement, it amounts to an abuse of power. By highlighting these unanswered questions, the obedient movement seeks to delegitimize the APC's actions and force the government into a position of accountability for what they see as an irresponsible and reckless attack on the right to dissent. The obedient movement frames the comments by Morka as part of a larger pattern of repression under the current government. According to the movement, the APC administration has repeatedly chosen to intimidate political opponents rather than engage in constructive dialogue. The comment from Morka seen in this light is interpreted as an attempt to silence opposition by using fear and coercion. In the eyes of the obedient movement, the APC's approach is not one of healthy political competition, but of authoritarianism, where those in power seek to eliminate challenges to their rule by any means necessary. This tactic is seen as not only detrimental to Peter Obi, but also harmful to the wider Nigerian polity, which is losing its democratic bearings under a government that resorts to threats instead of dialogue. Consequently, the movement calls on the security services to investigate Morka's remarks seriously, warning that failure to do so will allow such behavior to continue unchecked. The demand for accountability extends to the APC itself, urging the party to impress on its spokespersons and promote noble discourse that furthers national unity rather than division. The movement contends strongly that Morka's statement is a reckless and dangerous attempt to silence one of the most significant voices of opposition in the country, Peter Obi, and to send a wider message to those who challenge the ruling party. The Obedients continue to position themselves as defenders of democratic values and freedom of expression, calling on both the Nigerian government and the international community to ensure that the country does not slide further into authoritarianism. Their stance is a critical call to action for Nigerians to resist political repression and uphold the democratic principles that should guide the nation's future. This message was brought to you by DMJ Ononuju Obiaga and Co-Analyst. Like, share, and comment on our videos. Thank you.